Good morning. Thank you very much.
Good morning. Thank you so much for having me.
Okay, you've had Chinwe share and her experience, how some of the schools are shutting down. Unfortunately, it feels like we're between the devil and the deep blue sea, where we want to prioritize education, we also want to prioritize the safety of our students. But what are your thoughts on the shutting down of the schools?
Yeah, excellent. I think it was the best decision at the moment. It's an unusual season. We have had this experience in the past, and it is back again with us. It's quite unfortunate that we are back to what we used to have as far back as 2014 or thereabouts. But it is safe and better to have the children at home than to be nursing the fear that even when they don't go for them, parents are unable to sleep because they are not really sure of what is going to happen to their children. So I think that was the best decision that was taken. And the federal government said, education is on concurrent list. And because it's on concurrent list, the federal government only had capacity to give instruction to the unity colleges, and also now advised that every other schools that are located where the states have taken decisions, even if they are not contained in the 41 schools identified by the federal government, they must also abide by the decision of that state. I think it is ideal. It is the best thing that we can do in the moment.
You're right when you spoke about the sense of the parents, the heightened anxiety, and that this decision was made. But this decision is not without consequences, because it would have, the school closures will have an effect on the curriculum and the learning timing of the students. Would they be able to meet up with their peers in the safer part of the country as a result of this? And when this sort of unprecedented things happen, how do you adjust the calendar?
I think we have had this experience in the past. When we had COVID-19, there was a way we managed ourselves. I think we need to understand very clearly, maybe because of my understanding of what a little knowledge about insurgency. My master's was on diplomacy and strategic studies, and I think my thesis was on insurgency in Nigeria. And I read all through, and I realized that the most difficult aspect of insurgency to deal with is the one that has to do with religious creed. It is a very difficult one. And now that it has a kind of a foreign backing, there's nobody that can deny that. There is interest, massive interest in the resources that Nigeria is blessed with. And when you see that, when you see somebody calling a disgraced nation, it is not just for fun. People never knew. A lot of mercenaries were already here before such heavy statement was made. It is as a result of some level of frustration, because some people do not have access to what is here. And they understand, apart from knowledge economy that they run, tell me the natural resources that you see in some of these places that you go. Whether you go to West, whether you go to Eastern Asia, you go to anywhere, apart from here in Africa. The concentration, it's not in the best interest of some developed nations that Africa resorts to crisis and is at peace. That's the reality. Many of them, we have seen it before. So the best way to do it, we have to keep them fighting. Yeah, so we have to, it is to keep us fighting, but we have to be diplomatic in the way we approach this. Whether we like it or not, there is nobody who comes to remove subsidy. We understand the regime of subsidy. It's something that we also understood it. Some of us have to travel as far as Okerete near Benin Republic, and we see the kind of the atrocities that Nigerians perpetrate. Because somebody is paying you subsidy, you are diverting the oil outside the country because you are making the money. You cannot be dealing with people who are dealing in forex before, who used to enjoy that forex. They were not living the comfort of their home. We had them, we knew them. These were people who were taking on official rate, and they would take it through the black market. You can't deal with people like that and expect that there won't be a kind of a fight back. And you see a system where currently things started having some kind of shape, and you are saying, no, we don't want to import fuel again. We want to have a situation where even if you are importing, there must be 15% duty on it. It's a way of encouraging local consumption, local production, and things like that. But nobody, that's the truth, because you are not existing in a vacuum.
But it can be more powerful than the government. I understand some of the sentiments you've shared, and some of them are germane. But the government has a responsibility to protect its people, not look for excuses. So what do you expect from the government going forward? Now that they've shut the schools,
Yeah, thank you very much. I think we underrated the insecurity in Nigeria very much, whether the government or even individuals. Some of us, we look at it as if you just go out there, go and unpick these people, and you just... I had people, I have a friend, a partner friend, a Air Force officer, who was part of those who went to, is it that, you know, one of these very terrible areas. Okay. And he almost lost his life because these guys were shooting. The question you should ask is this: where do these ammunition people use? Where do they come from? Who mobilizes these people? Who funds them? Can they get funding without the support of the foreign agents? These are very clear things. They are not something that a government in Nigeria will just sit down. These are people who can even block your access to resources. They can block your access to even get this power. Go and check all these deserts. Where are these things flowing in? They are flowing into the country because we have individuals who are not even internal individuals. I'm telling you that go and check. You will see, if you notice one of the pictures shown by the president yesterday, you will see that the minister of solid mineral was actually in that picture. What was he doing there? He should send some kind of signal that there is more to natural resources to this crisis than what you can see. And that is why it will require, it is not only the kinetic force that can resolve this crisis. You also need, when people are talking about, oh, we need state police, yes, it is important. But the question we should also ask is that some of these things, if they are not properly controlled, can go out of hand. The same way we empower them to use it for the good, it's also the same way they can use it for the for the terrible system that they have. For instance, I gave one example yesterday. I look at a past governor who was asked to come and who was invited by EFCC and was running from pillar to post, running, jumping inside his successor's vehicle and things like that, and fighting. You can imagine if you have such a person having access to state police. Which other authority in Nigeria will have access to invite him? Because he's empowered.
Becomes a personal militia.
It becomes a personal, so they use it for their own advantage. I agree that concentrating it at the center may be difficult, but we are not America. We are not, institutions work over there. Individuals operate here. So we must be very careful about what we are looking for. If you know what, in Osun recently, Amotekun went over to a particular village and killed as many people as possible. I don't know whether you watched that clip. The governor had to cut short his trip and visited the family. It's Amotekun. These are people who are overpowered, who are empowered by the state. It is to secure the people. But how do they use the weapon? This thing is not just something that somebody will just sit down. Yes, it is important for us to secure our nation. But there must be diplomatic way of doing it. Nigeria alone cannot resolve this. The president must reach out, must go out, and that is why I am happy that even though he could not go to that G20, it was important for Shettima to go to the G20. We need foreign collaboration. We need external support to be able to address these concerns. Nigerian borders are too porous, very, very porous, and you need some of these individual society. People talk about, look at what happened in Libya now. And I keep asking people, the ammunition used to fight in Libya, to displace the government of Libya, where do you think they ended? They were here. They moved them here. Every now and then you see a whole lot of it. You think all these boys that are fighting, you think they are Nigerians, you think they are Nigerians, you think they are this ISWAP. Who trained them? Where did they train?
Well, if we look at that, anyway, I think we'll just throw that complete burden on the security experts to further help us break it down. But I know it's overwhelming. I mean, I can feel it from your voice. I think everybody's actually tensed right now. Hence why we need to look at the possibilities. But another person or people who are tensed in the society are the parents right now. Because the tension is not swelling from the insecurity crisis. The tension is also coming from the fact that, one, the children will be at home. As a parent, you'll be thinking, what next?
What do you do
with
these children?
Are you going to get a home lesson teacher for them to continue to teach them? And what's the duration that these children will actually stay at home for? These are the conversations. You've been in the educational circle for quite a while. If you were to advise a parent who is watching the program right now, who has been heavily impacted by the insecurity happening there, What advice would you give to these parents, knowing that the children can no longer attend school?
Or maybe we'll go back to the COVID days where
Yeah,
we doing virtual lessons.
Yeah,
You know.
I think my first message to the parent is that they should look at it this way. If this did not happen and the other happened, which one would they have preferred? Having their children with them, sitting with them, looking at them. Even if a whole year is wasted, it is not a waste because they have access to their children and they can go back. Up to today, we don't have Leah Sharibu. The parent of Leah Sharibu would have loved to have Leah Sharibu even at home for 20 years before she goes back, if she wants to go back. So it is important. Safety is very key. It is very, very important. That's number one. Number two is the fact that what you learn in school is quite important. If you are, depending on the level you have, these children can continue. The facilities are already there these days. When we had COVID, people wrote exams. It's not that they were in the four walls of classrooms. We had a lot of opportunities where people were training them, this and that. My niece and nephew traveled recently abroad. They couldn't go to school, but their teachers were communicating them. They were teaching them while they were away. They were sending lesson notes to them. They were sending questions to them using WhatsApp, using all these facilities. I think this is very essential. The teachers can still come together. They can be sharing lessons. They can be teaching. There are a lot of social media. There are a lot of online platforms. The only thing that will be impacted is the physical interaction, which can be taken over by the parents in the interim. Even if it is just 1 hour you can spend with your child, spend that an hour with them to monitor what they are doing, to see what they have been able to do. I think it is very important that this is just a temporary setback, which is very important, which is very better. And we should continue to pray for those who are still in captivity, that we pray that they come. I think it is better to have them with us. They have access to a lot of tools where they can learn. They should not allow that to discourage them. I think the parents have a huge responsibility to at least fill their gap. And also the teachers are not asked to just go back home and be sleeping. They should also pick up their tabs, pick up their tools and be able to engage their students. I think it's already happening. Even during the long vacation, they still continue to interact with their schools. The schools still send questions to parents. We still relate to them. I think that those systems are already in place.
Okay, let's talk about the Safe Schools Initiative and your thoughts about the Safe Schools Initiative. There was a report that the federal government earmarked 15 billion for the implementation of financing Safe Schools Initiative, and there was a breakdown for it. They said that the plan proposes 32.58 billion naira in 2023, 36.98 billion naira in 2024, 37.15 billion naira in 2025, and 38.03 billion naira in 2026 respectively. And they added that the funding of the plan is through annual budgetary provisions from federal, state, and local governments, government interventionist agencies, foreign and multilateral institutions, businesses and philanthropists, donor partners, and others. Now, what's the plan about? The plan for the Safe Schools Initiative is focused on achieving the following. A, building and integrating security resilient host communities in the protection of education. B, strengthen the defection, deterrence, and response capabilities of the security agency. Equipping the school security, response, and coordination centers in Abuja and states respectively. D, regular engagements and policy advocacy with the Nigerian public and key government officials on implementation of national plan.
Yeah, thank you very much. It is unfortunate, and I must say it very clearly here, that Nigeria does not have any clear idea of the school safety program, school safety policy. The target was only in the area of the funding that will come to the. And why did I say so? I'm saying so because in 2023, as the chairman of Education Writers Association of Nigeria, we had a summit in Lagos here where we featured critical experts in terms of school safety, and it was basically to address that issue. And we realized that the question we should ask ourselves, how can you have school safety initiative and it is domiciled in the Ministry of Finance? How is that possible? It is domiciled in the Ministry of Finance. Even the Ministry of Education doesn't understand much of what is done. Apart from NSCDC, the Security and Civil Defense Corps that is involved, And we featured the head of that initiative at NSCDC. But I can tell you that the bulk of the decisions taken on school safety initiative is in the Ministry of Finance, because the target, the focus is on the money. It's not on what they want to do. The Minister of Education doesn't have anything to do. And it started right from the days of President Bola, the late President Muhammadu Buhari. And I realized that it is not, so every ministry was now fighting to say this thing should come to us. This thing should go to this. Okay, what is the essence of having a Ministry of Finance coordinating something about school safety initiative? If education is not involved, the interior is not in charge, so what is the point? Because you just want to sit on the money because foreign grants are coming. And that is the point. So I am saying it very clearly, except it changes tomorrow. And it is part of what we want to actually discuss on Thursday. Apologies, because this year's summit will also be holding at the University of Lagos on Thursday. And we are expecting critical stakeholders, including ministers, critical stakeholders to come and address some of these issues. Initially, we were talking, the focus is actually on the paper qualification and the integrity of public examinations. But with this current situation, we are also adding that there is no way we will not discuss the safety and the security of our schools. I mean, just to correct what I said earlier, when I mentioned that they had marked 15 billion for the Safe School Initiative, that was for 2023. So altogether, it's a total investment size of 144.86 billion naira. I'm telling you, let them come and tell who collected it. You can see the control of schools at the federal level is in the agencies under the Federal Ministry of Education. So what is the Federal Ministry of Finance doing with the control of school safety initiative? For what?
I believe these are some of the issues you'll be discussing on Thursday, but let's move to our correspondent in Kano, Emmanuel Bagudu, who's joining us live from the Federal Government Girls College in Minjibri in Kano. Hello, Emmanuel, good morning.
He's done a report for us, actually, and then we'll take a look at the report and we'll come here to finalize the conversation.
I'm standing in front of the Federal Government Girls College, Minjibri, Kano State. And of course, the place is shut down, no visitors allowed. I was also denied access because of panic. Some parents were here yesterday, they were denied access. They wanted to pick up their children because of panic. I'm here with one of the community leaders who is going to tell me what actually happened and what's actually going on here at the Federal Government Girls College.
To sunana Ado ni da cewa wannan gurin da muke lodi daga makaranta saboda ka gaba da magana mu alhamdulillah
me faru jiya ne me faru
abin da ke faruwa mun ga akan zo nan da kai yara to sun je sanarwa cewa
su wake iyaye kenan
iyayen yara suna tunanin cewa akwai cewa wani ta ce a fida yara daga makaranta akan tsaro to gaskiya nan ba mu da matsala an zo nan ba mu da wannan ina tunanin ma ai ba mu ji a cikin wannan tsaro saboda kan duk wanda yazo za a ce da shi ba mu ji ba a cikin tsaro da mu muna da lafiya lau ko ce hankali ba mu da matsala kamar tsaro
alhamdulillah. So what he's just trying to say is that of course he was here and he witnessed that encounter between parents and the teachers, and he wants to assure everyone that as far as he has been a chairman of this park in front of the school, there's no any issue of insecurity, that parents should just calm down and stop coming to fight to pick up their children.
There's no issue of insecurity. Well, let's wrap this conversation up because we need to move straight to the papers. Your last words concerning this level of insecurity and what the students should actually look forward to.
Yeah, my message is that this is not the time for blame game. This is the time for all of us to rise, to defend our nation, to support this country. It is beyond the fact that, and the government also should focus more on governance than politics. We must tell the government that 2027 is still far away. To them, it is not far, but it is still far away. The focus should be on what to deliver. It is not how much of defections that you have that determine what you. If we continue to remain in power for the next 100 years and people cannot have anything good about you, it is a failure. So it is better that you focus on what the people need, which is security, 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 and you provide the basic needs for the people. Economy must be in good state. And I tell the people, it is not enough to just sit down and all these beer parlor conversations. This is what they are doing here. This is what they are doing here. It is deeper than that. Maybe because of the little knowledge some of us about crisis, insecurity, and insurgency. It has allowed us to be able to look at the international dimension. There is that foreign challenge that we are facing. And all of us as a people must rise to defend this nation. Nobody out there is coming to defend us. All the noise that they are making about us is all lies. They are coming just because of your resources. They are interested in what you have that they don't have because they know that we are mismanaging them, and they are creating that deliberate problem. People should go and read How Europe Underdeveloped Africa by Walter Rodney. Maybe they are going to have a better understanding.
Mojeed Alabi, thank you for joining us this morning on Breakfast Central. It's a really sad time